Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video, we're going to go over 5 tips on how to improve your tactic. And let's get started with an overview. Working on a tactic is an ever-evolving process. I don't think a tactic is ever truly finished, so let's go over some tips on how to improve yours. The first tip is to add in at least one tertiary runner to your tactic. To me, a tertiary runner is any attacking role that's in the defensive midfield position or deeper. It would be roles like the inverted wingback on attack, the segundo volante on attack, or the wide center back on attack. The reason is that the tertiary runners' deep runs are often unmarked and untracked by opponents. This can add a dynamic attacking threat to your tactic. Let's look at some examples. This is us on the ball in the opponent's half of the field. This role here is the inverted wingback on attack. It's a role that plays in the fullback position, and his delayed run into the penalty box makes it difficult for opponents to keep track of him. This one starts with the opponent's goal kick. The role we're looking at is the wide center back on attack. We're going to settle possession and watch how the center back pushes up the field and gives us an extra number in attack. This added runner overloads that side of the field to help us score the goal. In this one, we flipped, now going from left to right. On the ball is the segundo volante on attack. Our possession starts, and though the ball goes to the opposite flank, keep an eye on the defensive midfielder and his half-space positioning. Like the others, this positioning makes it difficult for opponents to keep track of him. The first tip was about player roles, and we're going to continue that theme, but this time talk about flank player roles. So the second tip is to have non-mirrored flank roles. So if you've got a formation that has 2 roles on each flank, don't have the same roles on both sides. Like this 4-3-3 example tactic. It's a pretty normal setup, but it's got an inside forward and a wingback on both sides. They also have the same duty distribution as well. Now this isn't a problem per se, but there is a potential issue. In this clip, we're on the ball in the opponent's half of the field. Here are the 2 inside forwards, and these are the 2 wingbacks. You can see our attacking shape is symmetrical on both sides, and this can make us predictable. Their center back here and their fullback here can easily mark both of my players because of our spacing. Again, it's not necessarily a problem, but it is something to pay attention to. So what if we did something like this, where instead of an attacking inside forward, we put a winger on support. And then instead of a wingback on support, we take the idea we just went over and add in an inverted wingback on attack. Let's look at our new tactic. It starts with us on the ball in our own half. The play begins and we work the ball up the field. On the ball right now is the winger on support, and this is the inverted wingback on attack. Keep in mind we still have the inside forward on attack on the opposite side, making threatening runs. So what we've done is create problems for the defense because of our differing player roles and unpredictable attack. We can see this in their defenders, who are now spread out and confused on who to mark. We don't get the goal, but we do get a potential scoring chance. The third tip is going to be piggybacking off the second one, and it's something you may have noticed. And that is for tip number 3, stagger your attacking roles. Again, the reason is that it makes your attack more unpredictable because your attackers are coming from multiple areas. Going back to that tactic, we have 3 attacking roles. We have 1 in the attacking midfield, 1 in the center midfield, and 1 on the back line. Not only that, but they're spread out across the formation. 1 on the left, 1 in the center mostly, and 1 on the right. This also lends to that variety and unpredictability you want in a tactic. Here's a back 3 idea using those same concepts. We've got 3 attacking roles spread out across the tactic, and they're also at different levels of the formation. The 4th tip is about how certain player roles can complement each other. So for tip number 4, put hard-working roles right next to creative roles. I think of a hard-working role like the ball-winning midfielder, the pressing forward, and the defensive winger. And creative roles would be ones like the Metzala, the Raumdeuter, or any of the playmakers. The reason is these two complement each other on both sides of the ball. The hard-working roles are aggressive in defending and docile in attack, while the creative roles are docile in defending and aggressive in attack. Here's a tactic example with Oslo in the 2nd Division of Norway. In the midfield, we have the hard-working ball-winning midfielder next to the creative regista role. This clip will give us an example of their dichotomy. It starts with the opponent on the ball in their own half, but they're attacking to the right on the counterattack. This is the ball-winning midfielder who's chasing down the play. This is the regista, who does not want to close down because he needs to be ready to receive the pass. The hard-working midfielder makes the tackle, makes a simple pass to the playmaker, who then hits the creative pass over the top to get us a scoring chance. Our 5th and final tip is about safety and how you can add that into your tactic. So tip number 5 is to have someone always providing midfield cover. A holding midfielder is a great option, like the anchor, defensive midfielder, or central midfielder. But it could also be a more experimental holding role, like the inverted wingback on defend, or the libero on defend. The reason is that ideally, you want a role that protects your center backs in case you lose the ball. Our final example of the video starts with us on the ball in our own half and attacking down the left flank. This role here is the anchor. Watch how even as we're trying to get the ball up the field, the anchor holds his position as a protector for the center backs. The role doesn't get drawn to the ball until we lose it, in which they kick into action and make the tackle. If you have a plan and an effective way to implement it, you can make almost any tactic work in Football Manager, and hopefully these 5 tips on how to improve your tactic will help you get there. If you'd like some player role shirts or maybe a Football Manager planner, you can check out the Half Space Apparel online store. I've also got a Patreon account if you'd like to support the channel. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.